Hello, my lovelies, and welcome back to part 2 of Wedding Wednesday. This morning we had a beautiful wedding tablescape. Now we're going to concentrate on what's next. But before we get into that, I want to thank you once again for just stopping by the channel, showing your love and support for this wedding series. All right, now let's get down to the nitty gritty. All right, Mr. and Mrs., congratulations. Congratulations on your marriage. You did it. You got through all this wedding stuff, and hopefully the honeymoon was just as amazing. But now that you're back, you're ready to dig into this thing called life as a married couple. So what's next? Now, it's okay to freak out a little bit. To use a terrible cliche, the actual being married part, while awesome, can also feel similar to the way that you felt on Christmas Day. You spend all your time planning, and then just in a few hours, everything is done. Presents are opened, a big meal. Now you've had it all. So you both ask yourselves, what's on the agenda next? Now let's think about this in terms of getting married. You spend all your months planning for your ceremony and all the surrounding details. You spend hours trying on dresses, settling on tuxes, interviewing photographers and officiants and caterers. You planned out every decoration, every wedding favor, everything. You also spent days stuffing invitations into envelopes, mailing them out, and even tracking a guest list. You've received and opened presents. You had the big ceremony, the big party, and then the big honeymoon. It's natural to feel a little bit let down as you stand in your home looking around and thinking, well, shoot, what am I supposed to be focusing on now? Now, while the ceremony, reception, and honeymoon are over, the first few days and weeks after you get married are just as jam-packed as they were before your wedding day. You still have a hefty to-do list of tasks that need to be taken care of. All right, my Mr. and Mrs., the first thing you must do is you have to make everything legal. Now, if you're changing your name to something else after you're getting married, it's time to get all that paperwork done now. The steps involved in this doesn't have to be complicated. There are so many tools online that can help you to make this an easier process to go through. You can even change your name online. Now, although there are a lot of rules to that, all you have to do is look up the information, Google it, and it will give you everything you need to know about this simple step in making everything legal. The next step, guys, is we have to figure out that money stuff. Once you get married, you have more options available to you on your taxes and with your banking and etc. It's time to make some really tough decisions. Are you going to be married and filing jointly or separately? Are you joining bank accounts together? How will you even pay for things? And also, what about retirement? As a new couple, this is something that you should discuss right away. Don't wait, guys. It's best to get all that out in the opening from the very beginning. All right, Mr. and Mrs., I think this is the most important step, and that is setting up your house. Are you already living together, or is one of you moving in with the other? Have you made plans to move soon after you've gotten married? Make sure that everybody knows how to find you. File a change of address forms with your credit cards, your banks, your utilities, and make sure you have mail forwarded to your new place, if there is one. Make sure if one person is moving into the other person's rented home, that their name is added to the rental or leasing agreement. Now, what you should start doing is packing and preparing for the move, especially if it's going to happen very soon after the wedding. One great way to save time and also money is to include your new address with your thank you notes. It's cheap, it's easy, you can already buy them pre-made. You can even get the ones that says, I moved, formed for just that purpose. All right, my Mr. and Mrs., it's okay to go through some rough feelings after you've gotten married. Suddenly, the reality of joining your life with someone else sets in, and you're thinking, did I really do this? It becomes more about just the flower arrangements, the dresses, the venues. Now comes the living up to your vows and being with another person, mostly every day for the rest of your life. It's common to experience some issues with your new spouse. You might have a few arguments about things that probably seemed silly because you got married, but now feels like the end of the world. This is especially true of couples who didn't live together before getting married. Now you have to figure out how to live together full time, and that can be stressful. All right, Mr. and Mrs., it is also common to experience some routine hiccups, both during the day and at night, if you know what I mean. You are going to probably spend some time feeling scared and freaked out over these emotional rushes. Try to take comfort in knowing that this too shall pass. If it seems to be dragging on, it might be a good idea to go through some couples counseling just to get some outside advice on how to be happily married instead of just being happily engaged. All right, guys, in conclusion, now eventually you're going to get through these early weeks. You'll send out your thank you cards. You'll get all your hired helpers like your photographer, your caterers paid, and your home set up. You'll figure out who is responsible for what. And then before you know it, you'll feel married. You'll be in the routine of things. You'll feel those things that everybody told you that you would feel automatically after your exchange of vows. And now that you've gotten to this point, now the fun of your marriage can really get started. You've made it and you are together. But one thing that I have to say above all else, always put God first. You do that, you'll be well on your way to a happy marriage. All right, Mr. and Mrs., from that very first meeting to your first date, to your courting, to your proposal, to your planning of the wedding, to that actual wedding day, to that fabulous honeymoon. Now you're turning the key to your new home. Wow, this has been really, really awesome. You ready to start your new life? Remember to always keep God first, and there's nothing that you can't do through Him. All right, my lovelies, I will see you next Wednesday for the second to the last Wedding Wednesday. We're getting down to the final countdown. See you then. Bye.